Hello guys, welcome to the part 15 of our peer-to-peer file sharing system using WCF and the .NET peer channels. Hey, we will just go ahead straight from where we left, but I will run and show some example before I go ahead. So this is what I want to show before we get into coding. Right, I've got 4 peers here, so I'm just gonna start them by entering anything, just for name, so it doesn't really matter, you can enter anything. So here, as you can see, I've got the peer services started and I've got the file services started using the WCF TCP services. So if we go to this bit also and enter something or name something, so as you can see, this one is started. So as you can see, it's now resolved. It's currently have one host, and this also have one host. So basically we have two devices, each having one host, of course, because you cannot self-host, or you cannot, you need to contact something else. So we just put this as well. So as you can see, once we resolve, now we have three peers, and they all have 2 hosts, as in such that they are connected to the other host. So we do the same thing to the last bit. This is still straightforward. So as we can see, 4 peers, each having 3 hosts that they can actually contact for the available services. So this is what we'll be working towards, like on this, right from this stage, and then once we're able to sort this out, we will move on in terms of building a simple file sharing services on our WPF. So stay tuned and let's keep this going. I will start making changes from the bottom up. So basically we start making changes from the contracts, the file share.contracts, right? So the first bit, of course, is we open and see what we have. The file share host, we open our file share host. Here we don't really do anything much, but what we do is we create we add a service contract here. So inside our service contract, of course, we add our callback contract. So here, what we will do is we put an I file share service callback. So what we do is we create this interface. We create this, create this property change. No problem. All we do is we just create a new stuff here. There's a public interface. Call I file share. What we do is just copy this bit. So now we can get this bit resolved. So the next bit, of course, is to add a section Sorry man, this bit of course it's a slight mistake here. I removed the iFile share service and we put the type of, and now we can put our iFile share service callback inside, and then what we do is set the session mode. Say session mode dot required. So that's all we do for here for now. So on the next page is of course the iFile share service. So here, this is what we do. The iFile share service, the service contract inside, of course we put callback contract. This would be type of iFile share service callback, and then the same thing, we set the session. Session mode is session mode not required. So that's what we do for here for now. And then before we even move on to the next stage, what I'm gonna do is we go back to the iFile share here, host, and then the iFile share callback. What we would do is we just add a very simple method inside, and it returns boolean, and we call it is connected. We call it is connected. And then we just make it take a simple string, and we say reply message. So that's what we've got for here for now. So what we do next is obviously we're just gonna make some other few changes inside our domain. So we go to the domain side. We go to the domain side. Then we try to make some few changes. So first of all, inside the file search resource model, we make these changes inside quickly. So on top of the class we put an attribute, and it's a data contract. So we resolve the namespace, the system dot runtime dot serialization dot whatnot. So we just wait for the name to be resolved. So as you can see, we're fully resolved. And then inside the properties, we just say data member. This is for better serialization, right? Data member. Then inside here, so I'll put a data member. So as you can see, it's pretty nice and spread. So the next bit of course is we open the models, and there are some few changes or few stuff that we have to do. First is the file metadata. So here, still before that obviously, so the file metadata on top of the class, we put data contract, and then with that here we put a data member. Data member. Data member. So we go to the next bit, which is the file part. So we do the same. So this is the data contract, right? And member. Data member. So as we see, that it's looking pretty straightforward. So the next bit, of course, is file path model. We do the same thing. On top of the class is a data contract, and the properties are the members. So it's a data member. So it's a data member. So we move on again to the next bit, host info, and the peer. So that's all we do for here inside our domain. So the next bit, of course, is to remain a little bit inside the contracts, right? So inside the contracts, obviously, we just move on back to the file, the iFile share service. So here we will add one method inside, and it's operation contract is one way. We set that to true, and it's a void, and we call this ping host service, and it takes obviously the host info, and this is info. So yeah, that is what we would do for here for now, obviously. So here we move this bit to its class, so we just move it to iFile share service callback. That's yes. So we actually go to the services side and see if we're gonna make some changes. So inside our services, just gonna open an iPing service. So the iPing service, we have got the ping, we've got the host details. We can make it host or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then we've got the search, that's fine. And it's the same. So the next bit, of course, the next bit of changes that we will make will be inside the logics. So we move on to the logic side. We collapse all the contracts now. Then we move on to the logics. So inside the logics, we've got the file share manager. Got so as you can see, we get an error here, so we just make sure we implement all the missing members. So obviously we've got the ping host services as well. So here we will make some few changes, right? First, what we would do is we add a delegate, and it's a public delegate. Void is void, and we call it current host info, and this will take in host info. We call it info. So what we do is we move ahead. So on top of the class, we put an attribute, and it's a service behavior attribute. So inside it, obviously, we put a concurrency mode, and we set that to multiple concurrencies. So, and then the instance context mode, and we set that to instance context mode single. So we set the instance context mode to single as well. So now inside our class, this is what we do. We add a couple of fields. So the first one will be a private dictionary, takes type string, and then the host, and then we call this current host, and we just initialize it straight away. And we add a public event, and it's the current host info, and this one will be current host update. So that's what we do for here for now. So what we're gonna do next is actually go inside the ping service. Here inside the ping host services. Here we make some changes. I mean, we can write console.write here info.id, and the server, and we can say info dot URI info dot ports. So we could say that, and then obviously we can actually say break line, I mean new line. So the next bit, of course, is we look for the callback method. So we say variable callback. The callback will be operation context dot current dot get callback channel. So we say I file share callback. So this is what we have here. So we can say if callback is not empty, you can say, and if callback dot is connected, and we can say message from server at daytime.utc now .d. So what we do is we say current host dot add. So we say host info.id, then info. Then we can say current host dot invoke. So we invoke with the info. So this is all that we have inside our ping host services. So as you can see, they look pretty straightforward. So the next bit, of course, is to go inside peer configuration. I mean service manager and peer configuration service. This one more thing. So peer configuration service. Here, that's something that we would have to do. As you can see, I've added, it's not part of the code, but I've added a field here called ports. So this field here, okay, so what we just leave the ports here as they are, and then we just bang on straight away from the part 16. So what I'm gonna do is just stop right away from here, and then continue straight away. So what I'm gonna say, as usual, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, and let's bang on straight away on the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for your time.